fought for a while until you finally give up. And what actually gives up is the ego self. The ego self is the individual self, the sense of me. That has to go away. And it can't go away. It just has to go through and try till it gets exhausted, till it gives up. And then that's when the true self shines through. Your true being shines through. And it says, striving is the root of sorrow. But who understands this? Only when you are blessed with the understanding of this teaching will you find freedom. Who is lazier than the Master? He has trouble even blinking. But only he is happy. No one else. Seeing to this, neglecting that, but when the mind stops setting one thing against another, when the mind stops setting one thing against another, it no longer craves pleasure. It no longer cares for wealth, or religious duties, or salvation. Very profound. You don't care whether you go to hell or heaven. You actually stop caring, but what actually stops caring is the false sense of me. It's like you don't care anymore. Everything is okay. That is freedom. That's freedom. Craving the pleasures of the senses, you suffer attachment. Disdaining them, you learn detachment. But if you desire nothing and disdain nothing, neither attachment nor detachment bind you. When you live without discrimination, desire arises. When desire persists, feelings of preference arise, of liking and disliking. They are the root and branches of the world. From activity, desire, from renunciation, aversion. But the man of wisdom is a child. He never sets one thing against another. It is true, he is a child. So this stanza here, when you live without discrimination, desire arises. Not quite clear as to what that means. When desire persists, feelings of preference arise. Yes, of liking and disliking. They are the root and branches of the world. From activity, desire. From renunciation, aversion. But the man of wisdom is a child. He never sets one thing against another. It's like everything is all right. There is no set rules for, in other words, in a sense he's saying it's okay to desire as long as you don't really care. It's okay to enjoy the world as long as you don't really get tangled. It's like a play. That's what I'm getting from this. Anyway, that's all there is to it, or maybe there's more. If you desire the world, you may try to renounce it in order to escape sorrow. Instead, renounce desire. Then you will be free of sorrow, and the world will not trouble you. If you desire liberation, but you still say mine, if you feel you are the body, you are not a wise man or a seeker. You are simply a man who suffers. Let Hari teach you, or Rama, born of the lotus, or Shiva himself. Unless you forget everything, you will never live in your heart. Unless you quit striving. But that happens of its own. There's nothing you really do or not do. It's not a prescription. It's more like, this is what happens when you really let go of everything. After the fact, you will be, the letting go doesn't come from ego. The letting go happens of its own from a deep inner shift. It's kind of like you've had enough. Or it's kind of like you've had many, many lifetimes and you finally have had enough of the world. And then you're ripe enough to let go of everything. And be okay just by yourself. And get a sense of what God is after that. Because your true self is God. Your true self is vast consciousness, as I keep saying. But now I'm going to talk about healing, which was the subject that came up this week. First it came that we found out that Mariella had cancer. So I was talking to her husband and kind of having a strong feeling she should go to Marie, who heals cancer. I had a strong feeling about that, and I've had it for years. This is what people should do if they get really ill. Total confidence in her ability to heal with the methods that she uses. But nobody's even really taken me up on it all this time. You know, I said, go to Donna Marie, but nobody ever really went. And so, again, this time in Mariella's case, I go to Alfredo and I tell him, we should do this. We should take her to Norma, but she can't go. She's absolutely stuck in the hospital because she's too weak. And they have her with tubes running in and out and all of that. And she's too weak. And it finally dawned on me during this time, this last week, that an inner shift happened. I let it go. I said, you know, the true healer is much deeper than what we think with the mind will heal. Even if Marie may be a great healer, the true healer is God, is itself. So that means that she could heal in the hospital through God. She could die in the hospital through God because it's time. She could go to Marie and get healed. That's fine. She could go to Marie and not get healed. And that's what was coming to me. And at the same time, I was happened to be listening to Dr. Richard Schultz about healing and now he's not a truly religious man. He's just simply a strong believer in alternative verbal remedies for getting well. And he's very bombastic in his view. He's very strong and aggressive in his And he has a strong disdain for medical profession and what they do, and how they treat the symptoms and not the cause, and how they don't know one bit about nutrition and about detoxification, about elimination. So I loved listening to him, but he was threading it through with references to God, the God self inside somebody that can heal one himself or herself. And then, so I was listening to him, and that kind of congealed for me what was going on with my preference for certain healing, and realizing, no matter if it sounds good to me, God is the one healing, or the inner self, or the self that is far greater than what the mind perceives. So and Dr. Schultz will be talking about miracles happening. I've seen them over and over again, he said, in my practice. Miracles happen when people believe, and they have faith, and they really think, oh, this is going to work, what he would tell them. And then Dr. Schultz himself would say, I didn't heal. People just simply believed it. Mm-hmm. And the power of that is very strong. Now, what I learned in the last couple of weeks is not just belief and faith. It's more like knowing that behind the scenes there is something extremely powerful. So I developed the absolute confidence in that. Also the relinquishment of that, because I am not the one in charge of telling anybody anything about where to go and what to do. Actually, the self itself, I actually let it go, and because I let it go, I'm thinking there may be a healing here happening with Maria. Because this is the sense I have from Spirit, from God, from the self. You let it go, you let it go. Absolutely, and I've done this for years where I've had a certain belief in somebody, so I let it go. That means she could be in the hospital, and everything is all right under these circumstances, because if Mariella lives, it was meant to be. And now getting a better sense of what it means to say, what Rama used to say, if it's meant to be, it will be. If it's not meant to be, it won't be. And I'd say to myself, yes, but how convenient to say that when it doesn't work out. You know what I'm saying? It's like there was no real knowledge of this. What it really meant was that you're not in charge of this. Not only that, dying is not such a horrible thing. We all think it's just like awful. But it isn't. It's like putting on a new pair of clothes. We give the old clothes away. Huh?
We're all going to experience it.
Of course. And it's all right. You know, it's really all right. We have such a fear of it, especially in the Western world. You know, of going out of existence. But we don't go out of existence. We are existence. We are the self, we are God. It's that we need to own that as an inner experience, as a pure knowledge. So myself, in this particular sense, with healing, I'm just getting the sense the self really is more powerful than what you think that so-and-so will heal. It is not so-and-so that will heal, it is the self. And if she's directed to go to someone and he'll be healed by that, well, great. That's what we would like. But at the same time, we have a limited view. It's vaster. It's vaster. So that's what I wanted to say today about healing and where it really happens. And not to take a, oh please God, please God, please God, please God. Not to be begging. The self knows what is right and what is perfect. We're just so attached to our body and our mind. And so it is true what Rama said. If it's meant to be, it will be. If it's not meant to be, it won't be. And whatever you try to do, which is a very limited attempt, will not suffice for the reality behind the scene, which is happening, and will take care of it one way or another. The last breath, the last words he said before he died, Rama Maharshi, about a couple of days before he died, he said, it will all come right in a couple of days. He was looking at his own death. He was totally okay with it. It'll come right as soon as I'm gone from this body. That's such a drain on one. The consciousness does not go away. The consciousness does not go away. So I have something, and I don't know if it's going to be with this particular discourse we just had, but it's what I have planned to have Prabhuji to talk about. And I have listened to it a long time, a few weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago. And let me see Sahasha glimpses. Sahasha means the natural state. The great delusion, I am me. The great delusion, I am me. This is like 14 minutes long, and I put my little comment here, very good. So let's go listen to that. There should be so many more people here, don't you think? It doesn't make sense that, but I'm not going to complain. Let's see. This is what people should be hearing. Great delusion. Let's see if I hold it up. Delusion. That is not delusion. Delusion. Delusion.
important to judge which is the greater, which is the most enduring, the most stable, the most true.
More volume.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on the volume.
And what can stop you? You say, I would like to be able to stay now. That's not you.
It's like conditioning, or just it's like conditioning or
Fine, okay. What is the highest, the most powerful condition? Conditioning of our condition.
identity. Identity.
And the body. It's probably the biggest. Number one. It's true. Identity is the earliest condition. I am this, I am my conditioning. Whatever programming there is, that I call myself, I'm this body. Why? Because all through your life it continues. Through everything that happens, it is saying, I did this, I think this, I want this, I need this. This I. And no one questions it. Your parents don't question it. Your friends don't question it. Your brothers and sisters don't question it. Politicians don't question it. The king and queen of your country don't question it. The priest doesn't question, nobody questions it. You don't question it. And yet all problems are springing out of that. Isn't it strange? Or have we not seen this actually? Perhaps that is it. It has not been brought to our attention in a striking enough way that we cannot refute it. Because even sometimes in hearing something that not someone else has to prove to you, but in your own self you can look and say, you know what? I can't fault this fighting. And could you come to such a place where in your mind, in its psychological obsessions and its attacks upon you, just completely are broken? The mind, the psychological mind, insecure mind, egoic mind, cannot, as I said, it cannot attack or intimidate the pure self. It can only do this to the false self. It can only do this to your self-image, to your personality self-image, or to the idea we have of who we are. I wonder if we really are beginning to grasp the profundity of what I'm speaking of. Because the fact that it is overlooked, it is not recognized, is a guarantee for suffering to perpetuate. And yet there is such a strong resistance in us to even look like that. If something just shuts off that, don't even go there. Don't even talk about it. Like this psychological identity is this belief in oneself as being is like the biggest mafia in the whole universe. You become a memory from love journey. And you don't escape so easy. Now and again, one fish breaks out of the net and swims out into the ocean. Because how many beings have you met who never have a problem? Everybody have a problem. If you don't have a current problem, you still have an old problem that is playing as a new current problem. And everyone is looking for solutions to their problem, to the individual problem, to the domestic problem, your romantic problem, your spiritual problem, your mental problem. It's like problem problems is that the mantra of ego. And yet I'm pointing you to something, you see. But you say, please, I want out. I want out. And I keep telling you, you lean in. The password to this great game of existence is, I am this body. Press enter. Don't you remember pressing enter? We're into this. This is me, that is you. I like this stuff, I don't like them. I want to be, I don't want to be. I wish, I want, I need, I hope, I think, I believe, I was, I believe. And it goes on and on. We go to bed as I. Wake up and try. It goes on. And I'm inviting you to do one thing that has been missed. Generation after generation. It is missed. Because we're busy searching into the parts of the mind, looking more things around the corner, under the stone, and in the cave, on top of the mountain, on the pilgrims. But you miss this. Who is I? We don't question. Who are you? We question. Who am I? We question. Because all are living under the great delusion, the great assumption. I am me. Therefore, me is what? And even in the realm of spirituality, it goes on. Now I'm meditating 5 hours a day. I can start, on 1 foot or 1 toe, 5 years. And so what? So what? You are free. What accomplishment can a human being make to come out of this trap of identity? So I want to get out of the trap. But the I itself is the trap. But for whom? It's a tongue twister, a mind twister. But if you catch it, you somehow catch it, and we can. A whole superstructure of ill-conceived notions about the self. We begin to dismantle. And we won't ignore. You ask a question, profound question. I want to be this. I want to be this all the time. I want to stay here because something is had a glimpse. I had a glimpse. What was that glimpse? That glimpse is what? When I was not. I was not there. I as me was not there. And when I am not there, everything is beautiful. When this I is not there, somehow, paradoxically, unexpectedly, mystically,